Hey guys, Sarah here from The Glitter Guy, and today we have something really exciting. The Glitter Guy came out with epoxy! You guys, we've been working on this for a really long time, so to celebrate, we are going to make epoxy resin ghosts. So I got this fancy plastic wrap from Target. All right, so we are going to take our saran wrap and wrap it around our plate. You want a plate that has a good rim. So I'm gonna do probably 2 ghosts because I think by now we have the same understanding that I have no good sense of how much epoxy is the amount of epoxy you need. And you really only need a small amount for this craft. First things first, you're gonna want something for your ends. I really wanted to have little beads. I don't have little beads. I have a whole bunch of clays, so let's use some clays. If I can get them out of here. Maybe I should have got them out of here beforehand. Ta-da! What else did I want to use? Clays are not what I have known everyone else to use on these little jammers, but it's what I got. I'm hoping that it works out. However, I'm kind of concerned that it will just be covered by the epoxy, so we'll see what happens. You don't have to use beads though, you can use like little pebbles. All right, so let's make the end of our ghost. So we're just making a big circle. I don't want any gaps. So now we get to mix up the epoxy. Yay! So you're going to do like a really thin layer of epoxy for this. I wish I was better at guessing how much epoxy you need, but I'm just not. So that was 15. I'm gonna do another 15, which I think is entirely too much, but I'd rather have too much. It's so clear! I love clear epoxy. Jason worked really, really hard on this epoxy label. Project epoxy, get it? Because it was our project. Also, you could use it for projects. Aha! So I have pink and a purple here. I'm gonna do this guy first over here. Just a little bit of pink. I'm gonna start from the bottom and go mark my way up. And it missed my shirt. Ink is in. It's all up. This is gonna look really cool. Probably super cool under black light. So now I'm gonna go around the outside first and fill it into the middle. And I'm not putting it in my beads. I'm putting it right outside the beads. I'm gonna do a tiny bit of blue because there's some blue in here. Let's see what it looks like. I'm gonna do some glitter, blue, green, gold, and some blue because we need some glitter, I suppose, right? Mix it in really good. Ooh, it's really pretty. Now we're gonna pour this right into the center, kind of follow our pink. And then I'm gonna do a little drop of clear in the middle. Let that fan out. Now we're gonna let that sit over here. We do our next ghost. And we definitely don't have enough epoxy, so let's mix a little bit more. Not a ton. And not that I really condone running around and sniffing epoxy, but I'm telling you guys right now, this epoxy really has no odor, which an entire odorless epoxy is not always, it's not a thing. But this is extremely low odor because I cannot smell it. And I'm pretty sensitive to epoxy resin. 20 more in total. Hate scraping out epoxy clips. I should have looked better when I bought them, but there is no measurements on them. You really want to get in there, make sure you're scraping all the sides and especially the bottom. So I'm going to use my purple on the bottom. So we're going to take our purple, mix it in there, and I really liked the glitter in it too, so let's put a little bit of glitter in there. Those glitter alcohol inks really do add a perfect amount of glitter in there. I'm not creating, obviously, a perfect circle, and I'm doing, not that I'm doing it intentionally, I'm just not really caring as much because it's going to adjust itself anyway. Oh, this will work. Too much, very too much. So you add a little more. All right, let's mix this up. Put it right in the center and let the epoxy do its thing. Just letting it drip on the beads to try to make sure that they all come together as one cohesive piece. This is just regular rubbing alcohol. I'm just kind of spritzing it to make sure I get all my bubbles that are surfacing because I mix way too fast. So we're gonna let this sit for about an hour and come back and check on it and see if we can mold these into some resin ghosts. All right, guys, now that we have let these sit and I also cleaned up my space a little bit, let's make our little doodad that this is gonna sit on. So I just have a cup. I'm gonna put that upside down, but I don't want it to be like square at the top. So I'm gonna take some painter's tape and make myself a little ball. Because that's like ball type amount of tape. I don't think I should have put my gloves on first, though. That was like not the play. Let's make a head, a little ghost head. All right, we got the head and a little bit of my hair. Let's secure our head to where it belongs. I think that looks pretty good. Let's make another one. Don't put your gloves on first. Perfect. All right, moment of truth. Was it time or was it not time? People like to move my stuff around. I'm gonna do it on a paper plate anyway. All right, so what we're gonna do is just lift the whole plastic wrap up and then just put it right over top, and then we're gonna form the little wavys, the bottom of this ghost skin. You wanna make sure that this is not very liquidy when you move it, or else your whole ghost will probably just... Oh, it is gonna be a little ghost, but that's okay. And I think honestly it felt pretty good. I'm just going to pull out a few of these. So I'm just gonna pull it out a little bit. So the beads or whatever you used at the end should help make, and if you guys can see this, kind of like a barrier to where they don't slip, all the epoxy just won't slide all the way off your cling wrap. So in some places it's sliding a little bit, but not a lot, and it's gonna settle, I think. So I'm gonna leave it like that and see if that makes the shape that I want. Ghost number 2. You look pretty good. Remember, you're gonna sit this somewhere, be on display of some sort, I assume. So you kind of want to fan it out however you think it's going to wind up sitting. And we made a very short ghost, so we'll make a mommy and a daddy ghost at another time. We're gonna let this sit again. There's like a few places that are a little slippery, and I'm just gonna kind of put this here because I do want it to fall a little bit, but not like a ton. We are gonna let our tacky little ghost sit for overnight. We're gonna let these puppies sit for like 12 hours. And when they are done, they will be fully hardened and we will trim them up and see what we came out with. Well guys, it is the next day and my ghosts did not come out the way that I really wanted them to. However, I'm not completely upset with them. Let's see. I did epoxy this one to the plate a little bit. The room that we're in is really, really warm. And that is not something that I took into consideration when I decided to lay my ghost over a little moldy thing. And it's a rookie mistake because that it's a pretty easy one. So I do not believe I gave the epoxy nearly enough time to set up with how warm it is in here. My epoxy ran a little bit more than I wanted. And because I used super light colors, you can see through my ghost already. So let's trim this up and see what we got. Ah. I will say though, if it didn't leak so bad, my clays would have worked perfect. I'm really sad I moved it that early because this would have been a really cool ghost. I still think he's pretty cool. Let's see this one. Because I thought ghost, you might want to see through it. This one didn't come out as good as this one structure-wise. But again, I moved them way too soon, but I mean, it's there, it's the ghost. If I had waited just a little bit longer and it wasn't so warm in this room, this would have... Actually, look at him, he's fanned out more. Well guys, hope that you really enjoy this video. I don't really feel the need to cut out I was even going to redo these ghosts this morning. I don't really feel like that's kind of what my videos are about. I'm definitely going to redo my ghosts anyway and post them all over Facebook and Instagram, possibly TikTok, I don't know. But again, I don't feel like I should redo this whole video and cut out all of my mistakes because you guys can absolutely learn from my mistakes, figuring things out together and having some fun. So if you did have fun today and you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe to our channel so you can always see all of my craft fails and non-fails. I hope that you guys make a lot of spooky ghosts because officially, and I read this on a meme, so you know that it's true, July 5th is the start of spooky season because there's no other major holiday in between 4th of July and Halloween that stores can stock their shelves with, so everyone run to Target and get all the spooky stuff. This is not a paid advertisement.